Hi, welcome to Strength Reversed. It's Amy. Thank you so much for being here. I'm back. Some of you may have noticed that I was gone all summer, and some people may not have noticed, but that's okay. And I'm going to tell you where I was. I had a tower summer this summer, and it was some bullshit, okay? I'm not going to get into details, although I don't want it to come off like one of those Facebook posts where people, say, I need your thoughts and prayers, and everyone goes, oh my God, what happened? And then they're like, I can't say. I hate that, but I'm going to stick to generalities. Basically, this summer I had the toweriest of tower experiences. I know sometimes we pull these difficult cards and say, oh, it's not necessarily bad. It doesn't always mean that. Yeah, it meant that. It was sudden, it was violent, it was destructive, it rocked my world. Everything just was destroyed pretty much. So it started early in the summer or in the spring with my job, and I knew that just wasn't going to work anymore. And I had some relationship stuff that was very, very heavy, and that caused me to question a lot of friendships. And it was an entire summer of basically being uncomfortable and in pain and gross, and having to just process my life. So I was one of the little people jumping out of this tower and just having to rely on faith that something was going to catch me and that things were going to shift. And I think for the first time, maybe in my life, I really had that faith and knowledge that this was a temporary experience. So it showed some real growth, which I was proud of. And so this summer, it was really just me sitting in the rubble and taking the time to take care of myself and reflect on how I wanted my life to look. And I think as a young adult, as a young woman, I oftentimes put a lot more stock into what other people thought of me and not as much stock into what I thought of that person in my life. I was more worried about their opinion than my own, and that changed. And so I had to get right with myself about a lot of things, and I had to really decide where my boundaries were, what was okay with me, what I needed from my life, what I was willing to rebuild, and what just needed to be left as rubble and destruction. It was pretty awful. It was very intense, and you find out who your friends are and who loves you. And I found out that I have great friends and I have a family who loves me. And so I was very lucky that I had a support system and people that I could count on. But even then, other things came up where I had to put some limits on how I interacted with people and how they interacted with me. It was brutal. And I just didn't have the wherewithal to make videos, and I just didn't care. Okay, I just had to sit with myself and cry a lot, and it was a moment by moment kind of a thing. And thank God that it happened over the summer and not in the middle of the school year when I would have had to go and face people and deal with people and stuff that down in order to get through the day, because I think it was much more productive. And I was able to reach out for help and, get help from someone who I get a lot of, spiritual counseling from. And that, there's someone that I work with in that regard. And, You know, I had people who were professionals that I could talk to about it and use as sounding boards and get some perspective and um, help me know myself. So that was really, really beneficial to me. So I would encourage anyone who needs to reach. It doesn't have to be a therapist, but it can be, you know, a spiritual leader or someone who you feel connected to in that way, who can help you get outside of yourself a little bit, and that really helps. Also, I have a milestone birthday coming up in November, and it really forced me to sit down and think about how I wanted my life to look at this new age. It's kind of a new phase of my life, and I didn't want it to look like it had been looking. And so this was my shakeup, okay? And it was like a bolt of lightning out of the sky. It was that quick. It was that unexpected. Now I can look back and know probably for the best, but when you're in the tower energy, it just kind of sucks big time. And if anyone tried to tell me it was all for the best, I probably would have punched them in the face. Okay, I probably would be, you know, broadcasting live from the county jail. So right now I've been thinking a lot over the summer, and things are on the upswing, by the way. So things are being rebuilt and some things are just staying gone. And I'm in the phase now where I can see the light. I can see some, you know, the star is coming out. So I've been thinking a lot about this tower star combo, and that's, you know, where I'm heading toward, where I can wish and I'm hopeful and there's a spark of light that's growing again, that had been extinguished. And I've been forced to get real with myself, but now the silver lining is that I can decide how I want things to look, and I am, and I'm. It's really empowering when you make a decision and you take steps toward making that happen. And a lot of this includes boundaries, and boundaries also have to be set with ourselves. So I've had to set some boundaries with myself, and especially around work, because I had applied for a job where I would have coached new teachers, and which is kind of a dream of mine. I want to work with new teachers and help you know, indoctrinate them into the profession. It's kind of a blessing that I did not get that job, because it's not what it was. They have changed that position a little, and it would have looked totally different than what I was wanting to do. And so now really I just have rules for myself about leaving school by a certain time, and I have a actual planning period this year, which I usually would take on an extra class for extra pay, and the extra pay is really, really nice. I will tell you that. But I have some actual time to just kind of sit and have a break and do some things that I now don't have to do after school. And so I'm trying to make my life outside of school more of the priority. So I'm not, the people that I love don't get the rest of me. They're getting my best, and I'm leaving energy for them. So this is my star experience, and I'm excited about it. And it's work, and it's a lot of day by day kind of reflecting. But I'm feeling more hopeful now. I'm feeling more positive. I'm feeling more energetic. And I just have to keep reminding myself, especially when I'm at school and it's easy to get distracted by the to-do lists and the mundane things. I'm having to remind myself just to kind of keep refocusing. And it's also very helpful to have, because when you're in this free fall, hopefully you have a connection with something bigger. And if I didn't have that connection with something bigger than me, or some guides, or something that I felt like I could escape to or get some direction from, I don't know. I don't know how that would have looked. So big changes are happening, and I do see things from a new perspective now, because I think I would not have this new perspective had it not been for this, very violent, forced change of perspective. This kind of forced my hand in a lot of ways. And I think there's a tendency for people to think of something like this kind of energy, as a punishment, like as if the goal of spirituality is to be able to avoid moments like this. But I think this just goes with life. And really the goal of that kind of connection to spirit, or to whatever your higher self, whatever it is for you, to God or whatever, is just because it does help you navigate these times and gives it some sort of meaning or purpose, and helps you in that way. And so I don't think these are the moments that are escapable, but I do think that because of my experience, I was able to maybe fast forward a little bit on the processing, because I was open to, I just kind of knew deep down that this was happening at a bigger level, and that something was going to come of this, and it wasn't going to last forever. Anyway, I'm glad to be back, and I have a couple of videos in mind, and I've missed everyone. I haven't even really watched videos, which I feel I still have that like YouTuber guilt, the tarot tuber guilt, where I feel like I should watch everyone's video. But I'm back now, and I, of course, am not going to stress about my TarotTube channel. I'm just going to make a couple of fun videos, and there's a hashtag I'm going to reply to, and there's a deck walkthrough, and fun stuff like that. So it's good to see you all again, and I will talk to you guys soon. And excuse the hurricane outside. Pay no attention. Floridians don't. Okay, bye.